Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Topic 8, right triangles and trigonometry. Lesson 5, problem solving with trigonometry. Right, this is our main lesson. So here our main objective is to apply the trigonometric knowledge to the real life examples, use the law of sines and law of cosines to solve problems. First of all, let's see what is an angle of elevation and what is an angle of depression. Now look at this person. He is standing here, and this line, the horizontal line, is called the line of his sight, or you can say this is a horizontal line. If the person will look upward like this, he's looking upward, let's say on the top of a building or on the top of a tree, then this line where my cursor is moving right now is called the line of sight, or here it's represented with the blue line. So this line is called the line of sight when you are looking at an object that is higher than the horizontal line, or you can say it's higher than the line of his sight. The angle that is made here is called the angle of elevation. So it means when you are looking upward, the angle of elevation is here. But for example, if you are looking downward, when the line of the sight is going downward from the horizontal line, then the angle that is made here is called the angle of depression. Clear? In both cases, when we will be having angle of elevation or angle of depression in any of the situation or in any of the problem, we are going to complete the right triangle. How can we complete the right triangle? For example, here if you will extend this line like this, so it becomes a right angle triangle, and here is the angle of elevation. In the other case, you can complete the triangle like this, and here this will be the angle of depression, but it will be inside the right triangle. Clear? Let's see what else do we have to discuss. So here is the summary of this lesson. First thing is how we can use the angle of elevation or the angle of depression. Already I explained you that we will complete a right triangle, and here like you can see that we can find the height of the building, and for example if something is down below the level of the sight, then you can find the depth of the object. Clear? Okay, by the way, I will explain with the help of the examples. Now, how can we find the area of the triangles when it's not a right angle triangle? For example, if you have a triangle like this, let's say it's A, B and C, and you know the measurement. For example, I know how much is angle A. Let's say 30 degrees or 35 degrees. And here the measurement is given, the sides that are containing this angle. For example, this side is B, so the opposite side here will be C. So if I know these two sides and the included angle, I can find the area of this triangle using the trigonometry. How? So I can say area will be equal to half of these two sides, B times C, into sine what? Sine angle A. Let's say it's 75 degrees. What two sides do I need to find the area of this triangle? I need the two sides in which this angle is included. So I need this C and I need this A. How can I find the area now? So area will be equal to half of A times C times sine 75 degrees. I hope it's clear for you. The formulas are written here. It's very simple. Right? Let's solve some examples now. Here is the first triad question. This is triad number 2. It says Nadeem sees the tour bus from the top of the tower to the nearest foot. How far is the bus from the base of the tower? Now where is the tower? Here is the tower. And what is the height of the tower? It's 180 feet. And the bus is here. Now he can see from the top of the tower the bus, and the angle, you can see it's shown here in the diagram that the angle of depression is 23 degrees. And they want us to find that how far is this bus from the foot of the tower. That means they want me to find how long is this line. How long is this line? What is the distance? Now clearly you can see that this is a right angle triangle. Why? Whenever you make a tree, you make a building, you make a pole, all these are standing upward from the ground, so they make a right angle with the ground. Clear? Now if I look at this triangle, the one that I'm shading right now for you, it does not have any angle inside it. So how I can make use of the trigonometric ratios if it does not have any angle, I mean other angle? Now this angle will also be 23 degrees. What is the reason? Because this is a horizontal line where I'm putting the dots, and this is a horizontal line, this one, right? These two horizontal lines are parallel to each other. So the angle that is made here and the angle that is made here are the alternate angles. So their measurement will be the same. Clear? So that's why if this angle is 23, for sure this angle is also going to be 23. Now I'm trying to find this distance between the bus and the building, or you can say the tower. So according to the trigonometry, this is the opposite side and this is the adjacent, right? So how can you find the adjacent? You can make the triangle for you. It's like TOA, like tangent ratio can help us. So we can write this like this, and we are trying to find the adjacent. So it will be A equals what? Opposite over tan angle, right? Now put the values into it. What is the opposite? It's 180. Then you can write tan 23 degrees. Now put all of this on the calculator. Let me show you how you can put this on the calculator. So you can say it's a fraction. In the numerator we have 180, and in the denominator we have tan 23. So close the bracket and the answer will become 424, right? Because they said to the nearest, let me show you, what is it? To the nearest foot. So it's going to be 424 feet. Clear? Now let's say if a student does not want to write like this, what is the other way to write the same information? So it is 180 divided by, because this is division, right? Tan 23, close the bracket, and it will give you the answer. So the answer is becoming 424. Clear? So here is the answer. It's x equals 424 feet. Let's solve some more example. Here, this is try it number 4a from the book. It says what is the area of this triangle. So you can see that we are given angle J. Are we given the two sides in which this angle is included? Yes, we are given 15 and 9, and these two sides are having this angle 51 between them. So what is the formula for finding the area? It's very simple. You have to make half of what? Half of the two sides. So it's 9 and 15, and then you have to take the sine ratio of this angle, that is 51. Put all of it on the calculator. You can write half, or you can change it into, in the end you can write divided by 2. Means 9 times 5 times sine 51, and in the end after closing the bracket you can write divided by 2, because half means divided by 2, right? Okay, so let's see. So we said 9 times 15 times sine 51, close the bracket, get the answer, or you can write directly divided by 2. So I prefer to go directly divided by 2. So the final answer is becoming 52.46. So let's write it over here. It's 46.42. No, it was not 46. Let me check. It's 52.46. 52.46. Clear? Here is the next question. It says what is the area of the triangle PQR? Now we are not given any of the angle, right? So how can we find the area? This shows that I have to go for another, you can say in another way I have to think, or if I want to use the trigonometry, then I have to find the angle using the trigonometry. It's not a right angle triangle, so I cannot use SOHCAHTOA, right? What is the other way that we learn to find the angle? If we have all the three sides, let's say if I'm trying to find angle P, or I can try to find angle Q. So what is the other way? What are the trigonometric rules or laws that can help us to find this angle? You can make use of the cosine law. What is the cosine law? So it's going to be a two-step problem. So step 1, we have to find the angle. How we will find the angle? Angle P will be equal to cos inverse, because whenever you have all the three sides and it's not a right angle triangle, cos inverse can help us to find the angle. So you can say 8 squared plus 10 squared. We always take these two sides in which the angle is included, and then we subtract from it the square of the opposite side. So it's going to be 4 squared, and in the denominator you will write 2 times 8 times 10. You can put the multiplication signs, or you can put in the bracket. I think it's easy to put the multiplication signs on the calculator. So it's going to be 2 times 8 times 10, and then finally you will close this bracket and you will get the angle 22.3 degrees. Hope it's clear, right? We did it in lesson 8.4, how to find the angle using cosine law. Okay, what will be step 2 now? We got this angle that is 22.3 degrees. Now we can find the area in step 2. How? It says half of the two sides. Which two sides? The sides in which the angle is included. So it's going to be 8 times 10 times sine 22.3, right? You will put all of it on the calculator and it will give you the answer 15.2, whatever the unit will be, you will square it, right? I hope it's clear for you. Now here is question number 16. It is from the book. It says, to what angle of depression should the security camera be adjusted in order to have the lens aimed at the point P on the ground? So it's clear from the diagram that the height of this building is 6 meters. Where the security camera is adjusted, or you can say fixed, the height of the security camera is 6 meters. And the point P, it's 12 meters away from the security camera. Now they are saying that what will be this angle so that this security camera can focus on this point. So this is the angle of depression. Why? Because if the security camera is fixed to see in the front like this, it will be the horizontal line. Now this is the line where it is looking downward, so this angle is going to be the angle of depression. I'm trying to find this angle of depression. It will be the same here, x, right? So it means that because these two lines, the ground and this line, they are horizontal, these are two alternate angles, so x is going to be the same if I find it over here or if I find it over here. Now see, according to this angle, because it's a right angle triangle, already I explained you on one of the slides that the building, it makes a right angle with the ground. It's a right angle triangle. That means you have to make use of so, ka or toa to solve the problem, right? So how can we decide that which of these can help me? Look at the opposite side. This is the opposite side, and this 12 meter is actually the hypotenuse. And I'm trying to find, now O and H are in this ratio. So make the triangle. It's going to be like this, SOH, because we are trying to find the angle. So it's going to be sine inverse, right? So angle X will be equal to sine inverse what? Opposite over hypotenuse. Remember, if you are trying to find any of the missing side, we say it's sine angle, right? But let's say if we are trying to find any of the missing angle, then we make use of the sine ratio, but we make it inverse, right? So it becomes sine inverse, the same thing, opposite over hypotenuse. Now let's put the values into it. So angle X is going to be sine inverse. How much is the opposite? It's 6. How much is the hypotenuse? It's 12. Okay, now you can put all of these values into the calculator and get the answer. By the way, there is a direct way to get this answer, because here it's 6 and the hypotenuse is the double. When the hypotenuse become double of this opposite, when this angle is 30 degrees. If you remember the topic that we did with 30, 60, 90 triangles. Anyhow, you can check right now with the help of the calculator. So it's going to be shift sine inverse, a fraction is 6 over 12, and then you can bring the cursor here, close the bracket, and then get the answer. So it's 30 degrees, right? So the final answer will be 30 degrees. That means this security camera has to be fixed at an angle of depression of 30 degrees to focus on this point P. Hope it's clear for you. Here is the next question, question number 18. It says, wait, Libby's eyes are 5 feet above the ground and the angle of elevation of her line of sight to the top of the monument is 74 degrees. How far is she from the monument? Now most of the students, when they look at this diagram, they think that it's very simple. They have to use this as an opposite, and this is the distance between her eye level and to the monument. They have to find this distance. Actually, because why did they mention here that above the ground? Her eyes, it means the level of her sight will be 5 feet above the ground. So for example, if she is standing over here and she is looking at the her level of her sight is 5 feet above the ground. Now this building or this monument is total 555 feet tall, but when she is looking at the top of the building from this level, right? So this is the angle 74 degrees. This angle is not from the ground. Okay, so how much is she above from the ground? She is 5 feet above the ground. So that means here you have to take this point 5 feet above the ground. So the length of the tower that will be from her level of eyesight will not be 555, it will become 550. Clear? So when they mention it clearly in the question that you have to take the level of someone's sight, that means be very careful how much length you have to take for the opposite building or tree according to the level of the sight. So now according to this diagram, this is the opposite. Let me write it clearly over here for you. Now let me erase everything from here. So this is 550 feet. And what is this? This is, according to her, this is the opposite, right? And we are trying to find how far is she from the monument. So we are trying to find this distance from the building to the person. Clear? So this is going to be opposite, this is going to be adjacent. So how can we find the opposite and the adjacent? It's a right angle triangle. So you can think about it, is it so, ka, or toa? Which ratio will help us to find the adjacent? So it's opposite and A, that means toa can help me. So you can make the triangle for you, write into it the letters T, O, A. What are we trying to find? We are trying to find adjacent. So cover it and see what is the relation between O and T. So it's division. So you can say X will be equal to opposite over tan angle. If you are comfortable with this, write like this, or you can say opposite divided by tan angle. So you can put the values in both ways on the calculator. So opposite is actually now 550. It's not 555. Divide it by 10. And what is the angle? Here it's 74 degrees, right? Put all of it on the calculator and let's get the answer. So you can see from here it's becoming 157.7. You can write 7.1 or 7 depending on the question, how many places you have to round it. So it's becoming 157.7 feet, right? So she is 157.7 feet away from the building. Clear? Let's solve the next question. Here is the next question. What is the area of the triangle? It's very simple. Better pause the video here and solve it on your own. Here is the answer. We only have to take these two sides in which the angle is included. So you will say half of 6 times 7 times sine 51. Put all of it on the calculator and you will get the answer. Here is question number 22. It says, what is the area of the triangle? We are not given the angle, so it's going to be a two-step problem. It's all your choice. Now some of the girls, without, you can say, realizing that they didn't mention it here in the diagram, that this is a right angle triangle, they think that it's a right angle triangle. But until we don't know it's a right angle triangle, we cannot say take it as a right angle triangle, okay, until it's not mentioned. in the question that it's a right angle triangle. So it's all your choice. You can find angle A, you can find angle B, you can find angle C, all your choice. Let's say if you want to find angle A, so it's going to be a two-step problem. In step 1, you have to find angle included in any of the two sides. It's all your choice. Okay, so I'm trying to find angle A. So which ratio can help, or which law can help us to find this angle? The angle that is included in the two sides, it's going to be the law of cosines. And how do we use the law of cosines to find any angle? We always use its inverse ratio. And what do we say? First, we square these two sides in which the angle is included. So it's going to be 6 squared, and we add them, 7 squared, and then what do we subtract from it? The square of this third side. So it's going to be minus 4 squared. And what do we write in the denominator? 2 times the sides in which the angle is included. So it's going to be 2 times 6 times 7. You will put all of this on the calculator and let's get the answer. So it's the angle A is becoming 34.8 degrees. Okay, so let's write it over here. It's 34.8 degrees. Now step 2 is very simple. We have to find the area. So how can we find the area? We have to take the two sides in which the angle is included. So I have already highlighted those two sides. So it's 6 and 7 times it by sine what? Sine 34.8 degrees, right? And put all of it on the calculator and it will give you the measurement of the area. It's becoming 11.98 on the calculator. So it's almost, you can say, 12 square units, right? So we can write over it, or you can write 12.0 squared units. Clear? Here is question number 27 from the book. It says, which of the following equations is true? Okay, so they have given you actually 4 options here. Only 1 is true, only 2 is true, or maybe the third one is true, or maybe 2 and 3 are true. So we have to check. How can I check these until I don't know about tangent B? Is it 4/3? So look at this. If I take this angle B, according to this angle B, what is the opposite? This is the opposite, right? And we don't know how much it is. So can it be 4/3 like hypotenuse over adjacent? No, it's wrong. So this option is wrong. Now the next one, it says the measurement of AD is 2 square root 7. I cannot find the measurement of AD until I know how long is AC. So how can you get the value of AC? Using the let me highlight. You will take this triangle and apply the Pythagorean formula to find AC. So AC will be equal to square root of, I told you in my last video, the video of lesson 8.1, that Pythagorean formula, it can be used in direct way and indirect way. This is the direct way. Like what will you do? You will subtract from the hypotenuse squared what? The side that is given, the side of the or you can say the leg of the right angle. So it's going to be 3 squared. So let's see what is the answer. So it's becoming it's becoming, let me check, it's becoming square root of 7. So we can write over here that this measurement is square root 7. Now how can you find AD? Because it's a 30, 60. Obviously if this angle is 30, this is the right angle, so this angle is going to be 60 degrees, right? In this triangle, this angle is going to be 60 degrees. Let me make it bigger for you. So here we have this angle is 30 degrees. So for sure this angle is going to be 60 degrees. This is the right angle, right? So it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle, right? What happens in this case, that the hypotenuse, it is always the double of the shortest side. Now if I highlight this triangle for you, so this triangle, in this triangle AC is the shortest side, which is how much? It's square root 7. Right? So how can you get AD? It's going to be the 2 times of this. So it will become 2 square root 7. Now the first one was wrong because tangent B, this ratio is not equal to 4/3. But the second part is correct. Now in the third part they are saying AB squared equals BD squared plus. So here look at this. If you read all of it, they make use of the cosine law. right? Now what is the cosine law? They are talking about the 30-degree angle, this angle. So what is going to be the two sides that are containing this angle? They will be added. So where are those two sides? Here, let me show you this side, BD and AD. Now they are considering the whole triangle, right? Okay, so AD square, AB squared, the opposite side, this one is the opposite side. So AB squared will be equal to BD squared plus AD squared minus 2BD into cos 30 degrees. Yes, they have made use of the cosine law correctly. So which two options are correct? 2 and 3 are correct. So that's why here this D option is the correct option. Clear? Let's solve some more questions now. Now these are some extra questions. These are not from the book. So it says find the area of the triangle having the given measurements. They said angle B is 30 degrees, A is 2 yards and C is 9 yards. How will you know that this angle is actually you can say made by these two sides, or it's lying in between these two sides? So best thing is first draw roughly any triangle, right? So let's say here you have A, here you have B, and here you have C. All these are capital letters because they are actually showing the angles of the triangle. So here we have 30 degrees. Now what will be the side that is opposite to this angle A? It will be small a. So they have given you it's 2 yards. And the side that is opposite to capital B is small c, that is 9 yards. So clearly you can see that if you have been given any angle and the other two sides are given with the small letters, that means, and they are not, by the way, any of them is not B, that means these are the two sides that will be containing this angle. Clear? Okay, so now it's very simple. You can find the area, how it will become half of what are the two sides is 2 times 9 times sine 30 degrees. So the answer will become, you will put all of it on the calculator and it will become 4.5. and what will be the unit? It's going to be yards squared. Clear? You can check it on the calculator. Here is the next question. It says what is the angle of elevation from the ground to the top of a 45 foot tree from 65 feet away? Round the answer to the nearest tenth of a degree. How will you draw the diagram? Better, whenever you have a word problem and the diagram is not given, try to make the diagram. How will you make the tree? We always, tree, building, poles, all these things, we always show them with the standing line of a right angle triangle. And the ground, sea level, all these things we show them, or you can say floor, we show them with a sleeping line. And here the angle between that is always 90 degrees, means the tree and the ground, it will always be a right angle. Now they are saying the angle of elevation. What is the angle of elevation? So it means someone is on the ground and he is looking at the top of the tree, and they want us to find that what will be this angle of elevation. What is the height of the tree? It says 45 foot tree. So that means the height of the tree is 45 feet from 65 feet away. So this point where you are looking at the top of the tree, this point is, let's say it's P. So how far it is from the tree? It's 65 feet away from the tree. Now they want you to find this angle. So according to this angle, this acute angle of the right triangle, this is the opposite and this is the adjacent, right? Which triangle? We have to make use of the SOHCAHTOA or TOA because it's a right angle triangle. So how can you find it? It's very simple now. Better pause the video here and complete the question on your own. So here is the answer. It's 34.7 degrees. Remember, because it is mentioned in the question that you have to round the answer to the nearest tenth. That means you will have one decimal place after the decimal. Clear? Here is the next question. Better pause the video here and solve it on your own. So here is the answer for this. Because we are trying to find the opposite in this right angle triangle. Here you can see it's this angle will be the right angle. So that means we are trying to find the opposite. You can make use of this ratio to it will be opposite equals adjacent, because if you cover this opposite, it becomes tan angles times A. So it is written here, substitute the values. Why we wrote the answer like this, 107 yards? Because in the question they said give your answer to the nearest whole yard. Means your answer has to be only in whole numbers, no decimal place. Here is the next question. It says triangle KLM has KL this, KM this, and LM this. What is the area of the triangle? So have they given you the angle between the two, any of the two sides? No, the angle is not given. So what is it going to be? It is going to be something like this, that in step 1 you have to find the missing angle, and then in step 2 you have to find the area. Clear? So better draw the diagram on your own. This one, draw the diagram, and then find the, in step 1 find the angle, any angle, K, L or M, it's all your choice, and then find the area. Better pause the video here and solve this question on your own. So here is the answer. I found this angle K. It is between 28 and 28, so it's going to be cos inverse 28 squared minus the square of the opposite side, that is 21, and in the denominator you will write all of it, right? 2 times 28 times 28. So it gave me the angle K 44 degrees. Let me write it here for you. So it's 44 degrees. Now I can use the formula that I learned for the area. So area equals half of these two sides, 28 times sine 44, the angle that is included in these two sides, and it is giving me this answer. That's all for this lesson, for this video. Hope you understand it.